Vyasapuja means we're offering our praise and our service to the parampara, and the greatest link to the parampara is Srila Prabhupada. He's not just another guru in a chain of so many gurus. Just like we have Sri Rupa Goswami, and we are all Rupanugas. But within that category of Rupanugas, we are all followers of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who revived Krishna consciousness and contributed one of the greatest wells. His teachings are considered by so many devotees to be the collection of all the combined teachings of the six Goswamis and put in an understandable way. And of course, Srila Prabhupada took all of that and he churned that ocean of nectar into his books, his teachings, his example. And so this day of Vyasapuja means a day of gratitude. A gratitude to the Supreme Lord and his representative. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met together with Nityananda Prabhu, they rolled on the ground of ecstasy. They bathed each other with the tears, hot tears of loving sentiments. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, tomorrow we will worship Srila Vyasadeva. Tomorrow is Guru Purnima. And so, because he accepted Nityananda as his older brother, so he said, and when everybody came in the house of Srivas Thakur, he said, Srivas, you prepare all the paraphernalia, and we will all worship Nityananda, because he is the Guru. So then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the garland to Nityananda. He said, so please, you put the garland on Srila Vyasadeva, and then you can sit down and we will do Guru Puja. So Nityananda walked over toward the picture of Vyasadeva, and then he turned around and he went toward Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he put it on Mahaprabhu. And then he instructed the devotees, now let us worship the original Guru. So worshiping the spiritual master, as Srila Prabhupada said, although innocent people or ignorant people or foolish people or just people who don't know, they're thinking that they're worshiping some man. But it has to be the consciousness of the spiritual master that everything I receive is for the Supreme Lord and for the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in that way, every offering becomes pure and perfect. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam it says, Acharyam mam vijanyam navamyam yatta karichit namartya buddhya suyata sarvadeva deva mayo guru. That one should never consider the spiritual master to be an ordinary person. No. One should not be envious of the spiritual master or think that the consciousness of the spiritual master belongs to this world. This is the actual understanding of what is the spiritual master. So, Srila Prabhupada said many times, what does it mean to be Guru? Prabhupada said, not such a big thing. No. Simply that we carefully hear what the spiritual master is teaching and we transfer that to the Supreme Lord. We imbibe that in our lives, and we make our lives through our every activity, every word, every thought, every deed, an offering to Krishna. As Krishna himself said, Yat Karosi Rashnasi, Yat Chitohosi Dadati Yat, Yat Tapasyasti Konteya, Mat Kurushva Mararpanam. That everything we do, everything we eat, everything we give away, every sacrifice we perform, every austerity should be an offering to the Supreme Personality of God. So, Vyasapuja, of course, means that we're worshipping Vyasadeva, who is the person who took all of the Vedic teachings, the incarnation of the Lord, who gave us this supreme understanding of what life is about, and all the knowledge that we need to successfully fulfill the purpose of our lives. As the Bhagavatam says, that when we approach the spiritual master, how should we approach the spiritual master? It should be done Saguru eva Sagurun eva jet Samitpani Shotriyam Brahmanishtam. First of all, we make sure that the person who we are contemplating as the spiritual master is Shotriyam, has heard properly from his spiritual master, and Brahmanishtam, and is fixed in that understanding. Therefore, it's not just parrot-like repetition of some knowledge, but it is knowledge manifest through the actions, thoughts, and every aspect of the life of the spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada said one time, I think it was actually on the disappearance day of his spiritual master, but it was a wonderful sentiment, and it is the consciousness that the spiritual master must have if he's going to properly perform the service of the spiritual master. And that consciousness is, Prabhupada said, who could know that I would come to your country? Who would know that I would meet all of you? Who would know that I would be teaching you? Prabhupada said, this is all the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he said, I am very grateful to my spiritual master that he has sent all of you, Prabhupada speaking about his disciples, to assist me in his service. So Srila Prabhupada was expressing the humility that one should feel, that all of you, disciples or Shiksha disciples or friends or supporters, that all of you have come here by the mercy of the spiritual master. You are the servants of Srila Prabhupada, and he has sent you because I, in my unfortunate and incapable position, cannot serve him very well, and therefore he has provided so much help and so much support for that service, which is very important. That service is to please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by distributing prasadam, by distributing the holy name, and by distributing the books of knowledge, the Brihat Mridanga, the great chanting of the holy name. That is the gift that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to us, and that our parampara is giving to us, and that we must give to others. Because parampara flows in two directions. Three directions, actually. It comes to us, we offer everything through it, but we also serve the parampara by giving spiritual knowledge, by giving these three things, prasadam, books, and the holy name to everyone else. And that is the fulfillment of the parampara. If we really want to understand what we've received from the spiritual master, we take that. We don't keep it for ourselves, because it's meant to give us the opportunity to become an instrument. Krishna says to Arjuna, after showing him the universal form, he says that actually everything is already arranged by my will, but now you are being given the opportunity to become the instrument. Nimitta matram means the instrument, the mechanism through which this parampara can continue. So Srila Prabhupada said that his greatest desire is to see that his disciples become pure devotees. This is the greatest desire of the spiritual master, that everyone can become a pure devotee. And to do that, we have to serve very faithfully and try to intensify every day our chanting of japa, our attendance in the service of the deity, and the service of the other Vaishnavas, in the service of society by giving Krishna consciousness. And that way, we increase our Krishna consciousness. I many times have given the example that just like if you sell something, if you're a salesman or a salesperson, I can say that nowadays, salesperson, and somebody gives you, just like if I'm a salesperson for some company, the more I sell, the more I get. If you don't sell anything, they're not going to give you any more stock. So the same way in Krishna consciousness, the more that I can give it, the more that I will receive from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and from the Parampara. So, by our example of Srila Prabhupada, by the example of our Parampara and their selfless sacrifice, we can understand that this is the example they're giving. If we want to progress in spiritual life, if we want to please the spiritual master, if we want to please the Parampara, the best way to do it is to give Krishna consciousness to others. Even if we're working or we have so many obligations or studies or whatever, we can, within the limitations of my specific situation, if I take time to make a sacrifice of giving to others, not something very comfortable. No, comfortable means that I'm serving my senses and my mind. But when it becomes a little, not too much, because then we may give it up, just a little bit uncomfortable, that I'm going to give go a little bit beyond what is comfortable for me. And, even big companies, everybody says, go beyond your comfort zone. That's the way you become successful. And it is also the way you become successful in Krishna consciousness. So these are some words, thoughts that I have at this moment. I'll stop here. I don't know if there's any question about what I said. So, okay.
Happy Vyasapuja to you. So nice to see you after a long time. Thanks, Bhaktanartha. He invited me, and I was so glad that, I have an opportunity to see you. And also I heard that you have not been feeling good, and we pray for Lord Krishna that you feel better and have good well-being. How can we develop our faith in a Guru, we have faith in so many other material things, with this, with that. When coming down to our spiritual master, we lack our faith in them, we just say, okay, could you please elaborate it furthermore?
How it works.
Would you explain to them my question, what I'm asking?
How can we serve the lotus feet of our spiritual master? By receiving his blessing. And what are those blessings? All the instructions that he gives us. These are real blessings. Blessings are not electromagnetic waves that penetrate you by some mystical process. The real blessing in spiritual life is to receive the teachings of our spiritual master, the teachings of the Parampara, and assimilate it and see how much I can apply to my life. And that's the way that we become very intimately connected to our spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada was always he was very kind to everyone, and he would certainly give recognition to all the service from all the devotees. But he always had a special place for those who offered service and took some risk. So if we can take some risk doesn't mean that we life-threatening risk, but risk means that we go, maybe we give a little more than would be comfortable, either monetarily, service-wise, in whatever way. We try to take that extra step, and that's what really pleases the spiritual master, what pleases Krishna, is that he sees that I'm willing to go beyond that which is comfortable for me, which makes me happy, and want to make Krishna very happy. This is called selfless. And surrender to the Lord, which is really the only essential quality of all the qualities that a devotee may have. The essential quality is surrender. And surrender means that I give more than I want to take. If I want equal, that's business. No? And if I want more for myself and less for the person that I'm dealing with, that means cheating. No? So we should try to serve and always give more to Krishna. I always say, don't give Krishna your remnants. Don't give Krishna what's left over. Give Krishna the first thing that comes to you. Then you take what's left over. Then we get Krishna's remnants. We have a tendency to give Krishna our remnants. If I have a little money left over this month, I'll give it to Krishna. No. That's like Prabhupada, of course, it works very nicely in English, that God and dog. No, that you spell God backwards is dog. No. So if we have the process backwards, then we're treating God like a dog. No. Here, you take this. I have some money left over. No. And so that's not the best consciousness. The best first thing I get, I offer to Krishna. And that's the risk I take. Money, service, whatever. I don't have any time. But the first thing I'll do today is chant the holy name of Krishna. The first thing I'll do today is worship the Lord on my altar. Even though I'm so busy, even though I'll get up a little earlier. So when we give that first thing to Krishna, then our life becomes, Krishna consciousness becomes very meaningful. When we give the last thing to Krishna, then our progress is very slow and maybe full of obstacles.
Very nice.
And actually, we've known each other for so many years. So many years, practically from the beginning of the Houston Temple. No?
Yeah. The greatest qualities, of course, Maharaj is so simple, the simplicity and compassion, perhaps, and say, he always, comes to Houston. He doesn't look for any devotee to follow him. He follows them. And last time, before he goes to India, he went to India. And he said that he sent 3-4 messages to different devotees, Could you ask Amarendra Das, he can come, and I need to talk to him, And one devotee said that Guru Prasad Maharaj want to see you. The other said, I said, my God, maybe I have done something wrong. And I went there, I paid my obeisance to him, and he said that you came to San Antonio and you have done some service to them. Bhakta Narada was very happy and he was so thankful. And then, on his own level, he said that I'm thankful to you. I said, Maharaj, don't make me feel ashamed, I have done nothing, You could just, like you say, Guru Maharaj mercy and Krishna's. And I'm landscaping specialist in the sense that I have some good knowledge about that and I can handle that. And I have done it for the last almost 30 years. Before that I worked for a company as a quality control engineer. But I don't know, suddenly it so happened that, they wanted the problem with the roof, it was leaking. I said, I'm not a roofer. I have no knowledge, I have no concept of roof and all that. I get my roofing done from roofers, But it's so much, the arrangement was made, we talked to somebody, they all came here, we had a good time. Bhakta Narada and his wife served us so good, and we were so happy, and we had been able to do something for them and for you. Thank you so much.
feel honored that I can try to offer some service and try to help in my own humble way that your Krishna consciousness can become more successful every day. Thank you very much. Prabhupada,